Cinematic scene of an older professional businessman resembling a motivational speaker, serious expression, sitting in a modern office with city view, looking at empty wallet, soft dramatic lighting, 9:16 vertical, ultra realistic. Close-up of hands holding cash that fades into dust particles, symbolic money disappearing, dark background, cinematic lighting, high contrast. Man checking bank account on phone with shocked expression, low balance displayed, night lighting, realistic emotional tension, slow motion visual of money slipping through fingers like sand, metaphor of financial loss, soft focus, dramatic shadows. Older businessman walking alone in city street at night, stressed face, neon lights reflecting, cinematic urban mood, close-up face of man thinking deeply, worried eyes, financial charts blurred in background, soft light, high detail. Visual metaphor of invisible hole in pocket with coins falling out, surreal realistic style, dark background. Man sitting at desk with bills scattered, overwhelmed expression, warm desk lamp lighting, realistic scene. Cinematic shot of clock spinning fast while money fades away, concept of time and money loss, dramatic lighting, older businessman looking at receipts and expenses, frustrated, modern home setting, natural light, visual of money turning into smoke in hands, symbolic disappearance, dark cinematic tone. Close-up of calculator showing expenses rising, red numbers glowing, tension atmosphere. Man working late at night, exhausted, laptop open with financial spreadsheet, city lights outside window, symbolic image of leaking container filled with coins, coins falling out from cracks, metaphor concept. Man standing in front of mirror, questioning expression, reflection slightly distorted, emotional tone. Cinematic scene of empty bank account notification glowing on phone in dark room. Close-up of stressed eyes reflecting financial graphs. Dramatic lighting, high realism, visual metaphor of treadmill running but staying in same place, businessman running no progress. Man holding head in frustration surrounded by floating bills and debts, surreal style. Wide shot of businessman walking in rain, lonely, reflective mood, cinematic lighting. Split scene showing two lives. One man stressed counting small cash, another calm reviewing investments on laptop, contrast lighting, cinematic style, 9:16 vertical. Older businessman in simple apartment checking expenses anxiously, dim lighting, realistic environment. Confident businessman in modern office smiling, while reviewing financial growth charts, bright lighting. Close-up of two hands, one empty and tense, another relaxed holding stable money, symbolic contrast. Man receiving salary notification then immediately paying bills, expression shifts from hope to stress. Wealthy man calmly drinking coffee while monitoring passive income on tablet, relaxed atmosphere. Cinematic shot of man working hard physically, sweating, compared with another working smart on laptop. Visual metaphor of hamster wheel with man running inside, money symbols floating but not accumulating. Man opening wallet with money then quick cut to empty wallet, emotional storytelling. Split visual of chaotic desk full of bills versus organized desk with financial plan notebook. Older businessman looking confused at rising expenses. Papers scattered everywhere. Confident businessman writing financial goals in notebook. Focused expression. Close-up of rising income graph immediately followed by rising expense graph, same pace. Man celebrating salary day briefly, then stress returns while paying debts. Visual of money entering one door and exiting another instantly, symbolic flow with no retention. Businessman sitting quietly with stable savings account displayed on laptop, calm mood. Close-up of hands building small stack of coins slowly growing, symbol of accumulation. Man looking at others living comfortably, expression of confusion and comparison. Cinematic contrast. One man stressed in darkness, another in light with financial clarity. Visual metaphor of strong safe box holding money versus open broken box losing money. Older professional businessman resembling a motivational speaker speaking confidently in front of a bookshelf background, warm lighting, cinematic style, 9:16 vertical, close-up of ancient Hebrew book on wooden table, soft golden light, mystical atmosphere. Hands opening an old sacred book with Hebrew symbols, dust particles floating in light. Cinematic shot of businessman reading ancient text, focused expression, symbolic knowledge discovery. Visual of glowing Hebrew letters floating in dark space, mystical and spiritual tone. Man looking curious while listening to hidden knowledge. Soft dramatic lighting. Close-up of eyes reflecting ancient symbols, sense of awakening. All scroll slowly unrolling on table, warm candlelight, cinematic detail. Businessman pointing while explaining concept, confident tone, bookshelf, and financial charts. Behind. Symbolic scene of hidden door opening with light inside, representing secret knowledge. Ancient Torah-style book placed next to modern laptop, contrast between old wisdom and modern life. Close-up of salt crystals glowing under light, symbolic introduction. Man sitting calmly while absorbing knowledge, peaceful expression. Visual metaphor of key, unlocking invisible barrier, golden light emerging. Cinematic shot of light shining down on man as realization moment happens. Close-up of thoughtful face with soft background blur, emotional depth. Ancient symbols slowly transforming into modern financial graphs, visual transition. Man explaining concept with slight hand gestures, eye contact with camera. Mystical energy flowing around simple objects like salt and coin, symbolic tone. Cinematic scene of man realizing something important, subtle smile, warm lighting. Close-up of course, see as salt crystals on wooden table, strong texture detail, soft natural light, ultra realistic, 9:16 vertical. Macro shot of salt crystals sparkling under light, cinematic focus, dark background. Hands holding salt gently, symbolic gesture, warm lighting. Visual of salt preserving raw meat, historical preservation concept, rustic environment. Ancient scene of people preserving fish with salt, historical realism, warm tones. Close-up of salt grains falling slowly in motion, dramatic lighting. Salt forming a protective circle around objects, symbolic preservation, dark background. Cinematic shot of salt glowing subtly in low light, mystical feeling. Hands sprinkling salt over bread on wooden table, spiritual ritual tone. Close-up of salt placed on table beside sacred book, symbolic connection. Visual metaphor of salt stopping decay process, half fresh, half decayed object. Macro shot of salt texture showing solidity and structure, high detail. Salt placed on clean surface with light beam shining down, symbolic purity. Hands pressing salt firmly into container, sense of stability. Cinematic scene of salt reflecting light like small crystals, elegant visual. Visual of salt surrounding coin without touching it yet, anticipation moment. Close-up of salt grains compared to dust particles, contrast between permanence and decay. Symbolic image of salt acting as barrier protecting inner object, glowing edge. Salt on kitchen table with soft morning light, calm and grounded feeling. Cinematic shot of salt representing stillness and permanence in contrast with moving background. Cinematic visual of coins flowing like energy streams through space, glowing lines, dark background, futuristic spiritual style, 9:16 vertical. Close-up of businessman holding money while soft glowing aura surrounds it. Symbolic energy concept. Visual metaphor of transparent container filled with water representing money, clean and stable, soft light. Container with visible cracks slowly leaking water. Symbolic financial loss, dramatic lighting. Close-up of water leaking through small cracks, slow motion, emotional tension. Businessman looking at leaking container with worried expression, dim lighting. Visual of energy waves moving around money, glowing particles, abstract style. Cinematic shot of strong glass container holding water perfectly, symbol of stability. Split visual, cracked container leaking versus solid container full, contrast concept. Close-up of hands trying to hold water but it slips through fingers, metaphor. Man observing financial chart while thinking deeply, soft focus background. Visual of invisible cracks forming around container, subtle glowing lines. Businessman closing cracks on container with hands. Symbolic control. Cinematic image of container slowly stabilizing, water becoming still. Close-up of calm water inside perfect container, peaceful and controlled feeling. Abstract visual of energy flowing smoothly into stable structure, glowing lines. Men with confident expression holding steady container, warm lighting. visual metaphor of structure forming around energy, geometric shapes stabilizing flow, close-up of focused eyes reflecting stable financial graph, calm mindset, cinematic shot of energy settling and becoming solid, symbol of control and retention. Close-up of small daily purchases accumulating on table, receipts stacking up, realistic lighting, 9:16 vertical, man casually buying coffee, unaware expression, soft natural lighting, fast montage of multiple small expenses happening, subtle motion blur, symbolic accumulation, close-up of phone showing multiple small transactions notifications, red negative amounts, businessman scrolling expenses history with shocked expression, dim lighting, visual metaphor of tiny cracks growing larger over time in containers, symbolic leaks, coins slowly slipping through fingers one by one, slow motion, emotional tone, man shopping impulsively online at night, screen glow lighting his face, close-up of credit card being used repeatedly, fast cuts, tension building, visual of money draining like water, from invisible holes, dark background, businessman looking confused at where money went, bills scattered around, close-up of mind cloud filled with negative beliefs about money, abstract style, text floating around head, money disappears, never enough, symbolic mindset. Men repeating same habits daily, loop visual, routine behavior, cinematic scene of men ignoring financial tracking, relaxed but unaware. Close-up of notebook empty with no budget written, symbolic lack of control. Visual of money splitting into multiple directions uncontrollably. Businessman realizing pattern, serious expression, moment of awareness, symbolic image of closing one crack while others still leak, incomplete solution. Cinematic shot of man deciding to change, determined face, warm light. Cinematic close-up of a glass container placed on wooden table, soft warm lighting, clean composition, 9:16 vertical. Hands placing quartz salt into a transparent glass container, slow motion, detailed texture, close-up of salt filling half of the glass container, precise level, symbolic preparation. Older professional businessman holding a coin with focused expression, bookshelf background, soft light, close-up of coin between fingers, sharp detail, dramatic lighting. Man raising coin slightly as if making a decision, calm, confident face. Cinematic shot of man closing eyes briefly, setting intention, soft glow around. Close-up of lips speaking intention silently, emotional focus. Hands slowly lowering coin towards salt, anticipation moment. Coin touching salt surface for the first time, macro detail. Hands gently pushing coin deeper into salt, slow motion. Close-up of coin being buried completely under salt, disappearing from view. Glass container now filled with salt covering coin, stable composition. Man observing the container with calm expression, sense of completion. Close-up of hands, adjusting container position on table carefully. Cinematic shot of container standing still, light reflecting through glass. Man stepping back slightly, looking at container with satisfaction. Soft glow effect around container, symbolic activation. Close-up of salt surface smooth and untouched, sense of seal. Cinematic still frame of ritual completed, peaceful atmosphere. Glass container with salt placed on high kitchen shelf, warm natural light, clean modern kitchen, 9:16 vertical. Wide shot of kitchen space with container visible above eye level, symbolic placement. Man entering kitchen and looking at the container, calm reflective expression, close-up of container on shelf with soft sunlight hitting glass, peaceful mood. Cinematic shot of daily routine in kitchen while container remains still in background. Man cooking while glancing at container, subtle awareness moment. Close-up of eyes looking up toward container. Thoughtful expression. Visual of light beam shining on container, symbolic activation. Cinematic scene of morning routine with container present, continuity feeling. Man standing in kitchen feeling more in control, relaxed posture. Symbolic visual of invisible energy forming around container, soft glow. Calendar flipping pages quickly to represent passing days in April. Close-up of calendar marking April, Nissan, highlighted date, warm tones. Cinematic shot of man looking determined as time passes, growth feeling. Visual metaphor of chains breaking, representing liberation from scarcity. Man smiling slightly while preparing food, sense of stability. Close-up of coin being removed from salt at end of cycle, careful movement. Hands cleaning coin gently, soft lighting, ritual closure. Man using coin to buy food, natural everyday scene, symbolic integration. Cinematic final shot of man calm, confident, looking forward, warm light, sense of abundance.